So I think anywhere you go is what you make it. I mean, if you want to teach, you can teach in Americus. If you want to start a business, you can start a business in Americus. If you want to be whatever it is you want to do, you can do it in Americus. You don't have to go to your big cities to do it. If it's not here, hey, start it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are resources out there for you to actually start it. So whatever it is you want to do, you can do it. You have the support here.
Yeah.
I mean, we support, we help. But I know, so you talked about the colleges and the universities, but let me just hit on the high school.
Let's go.
Yeah. Have you had I'm asking you questions.
I know. Let's do it.
Have you had the opportunity to see the high school or the CTAE program?
Okay. Is that the one that's across from the tech school?
Yes.
I've seen it from just driving past. It looks amazing. Welcome to the Americus podcast. My name is John Schroeder, and today I am joined by Suleania Bryant. Suleania, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And we got new mics. This is like a new season, so we're going to see how this goes. We're really excited about having this. So we got a chance to, I looked over your form. You filled out one of our online forms. We talked on the phone yesterday. I know a few things about you. So I know that you are born in Americus, so right here.
Correct.
You are a registered nurse. Your husband is county sheriff,
correct?
Right? Eric Bryant. And then in addition to that, you own your own business. And so we're going to talk a little bit about all of those things. But tell me what it's like to be just in a day in your life. What does that look like?
All right. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay. So a day in my life. Get started pretty early, of course. And I have two little ones.
Okay.
So we have a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old that we have to get ready in the morning. So of course, just typical family life, getting together, getting ready, going to work.
Yeah. Do they like mornings or are they just hard to let's go?
Yeah, they do not like mornings at all. So it's a lot of me doing the work and putting on the clothes and putting on the shoes.
Yeah.
It's all me.
I'm there. I hear you.
So once the kids get off to school, daycare, of course, I'm headed to my primary job.
Okay.
I, like you said, I am a registered nurse at Tyson Foods. I'm the complex nurse manager.
Okay.
So I'm responsible for about 1,500 people there.
Wow. It's a big job.
Yeah. And then after that, I put in my, 8, 9, 10 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm back home doing the mother thing, making sure everybody's fed, typical family life, getting ready for bed, making sure homework is done, making sure hubby's okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then you're working super hard on your own business. And so that's a full day, but it sounds like there are a lot of people that are depending upon you. And so it's really awesome. And you do it with a smile. So that's really, really awesome. So tell me a little bit. So we talked a little bit up on the phone, but one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast is sometimes, and I use this phrase, we sometimes forget how to people. We don't people well anymore with social media. Not that it's bad, but we just kind of get in these modes where we're information driven only, facts driven only, and we forget that there's people behind these things and their stories that are very important. And so one of the questions that we normally ask as a people is, what do you do? And then we begin to categorize you by that career. So if you have a high paying job, then obviously you bring value to our city, you bring value to me, maybe there's some benefit there. And then if you don't, then it's like, well, okay, we can be friends and those types of things. So not that the question is not important, but I think a better or at least a deeper question is who are you? Because who you are is just as important, I think even more important than what do you do. Correct. So tell me a little bit about just growing up, being born in Americus, Georgia. What's it like growing up? Tell me a little bit about your family dynamics. Tell me a little bit about things that inspired you, why you're here in Americus. Tell me a little bit about the school and just kind of what was life like growing up?
Okay. So I was born and raised here in Americus, Georgia. My parents, Mary and Leah and Bob, And I am the baby of 8, a total of
Wow.
8 kids. There were 3 in the home, but it's a total of 8.
Okay.
But I am the baby.
Look at that.
Right. So, of course, growing up, being the baby, I was the one that kind of ran behind everybody and I guess kind of got in everybody's way or however you want to look at it. But I can say this, growing up, I had a village. Like my village was extremely influential in my life.
Okay.
So not only did I have my parents who were hard workers, both of them were in manufacturing, but very hard workers. But I also had a set of godparents who were very influential in my life. So whereas my parents kind of drove the work, it's important to go to work. It's important to have a job. You gotta work to eat and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But on the godparent side, it was even though work was important, but it was driven school. You got to get an education. Education is important. No one can take your education away. So I had kind of the best of both worlds to just kind of really mold me into the person that I am, which means that, I'm a hard worker and I believe in education.
Yeah, that's huge.
So yeah.
And you need that, right? I mean, you need both of those things and they need to be driven in and that's just, absolutely. It's so great to have so many people just investing into you as you grow up. So, all right. So you're, 7, 9, 10, 11, what were you doing? Were you playing sports? Were you an active person? Were you thinking about career things like, oh, this is what I want to do when I grow up? Like, what was life like?
No, I was not in any sports, but I was being the only girl in the home. So I was the only girl in the home with 2 boys. Okay. I was kind of tomboyish. Yeah. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't believe that, but I was kind of tomboyish, even though I didn't play sports. So I was around my brothers a lot. And then
you had to survive. I mean,
right.
They were like, let's play. And you're like, that means I might get hurt. So,
right. So that's kind of how my life looked at that age. And then as I grew, I started to notice that I was very creative. Like I like making stuff and making stuff look good and making stuff look pretty. And just, even when it came to clothes or just, around the house, decor around the house. So I grew out of the tomboyish and then kind of grew into this creative person that just liked for things to look good. Yeah. Yes.
So what was your family doing as you were doing that? Like, oh, look at this. And, probably going in the mirror and checking it out and trying to do that. Were they like, all right, we see that in you? Or were they saying, oh, here she goes again, kind of thing? What were they?
Very supportive. So they would feed into anything that I wanted to do. I had the support in doing that. Yeah. But not only creative that way, but I was creative as far as, stage plays and all that kind of stuff. So they would put me in stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So they really fed into what I like to do.
So tell me about that. Tell me, okay, so your first play. What was it? Do you remember?
So when I was in the 5th grade, actually I was interested in it, but I was really pushed. My godmother pushed me into kind of like a one-act play. Okay. So I love it. She was very, demanding on you have to speak well, speak loud, enunciate, use the correct English. So she kind of pushed me into that so that I could really foster that. So, but the first play was middle school, and it was dealing with the classroom scene. I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah. It was very interesting. Then after that, I didn't do too much in high school, but college, I really started acting. And my my director at the time was like, because I was in nursing school, he was like, so are you going to like fix on people or you want to interview people? Yeah. So I've always kind of been on the stage, I guess you would say. Yeah.
So I did a little bit in high school. I did maybe 10th and 11th grade. Really enjoyed it. Loved the drama part of it. My son, he does a little bit of that too. And like his first think one of his first thing is like he was coil number 2, for the Jungle Book, and he just worked his way up, and so we've just supported that. So just having that creative mind though it's so needed even today. We need to be continually creative and try new things. And so having that value, having that gifting in you. Did you see anybody during that time that was like helping you influence? Were you watching certain people that were doing certain things? You were like, wow, I want to be like that if I want to step into some of that.
No, I really didn't. Because I didn't see myself.
Just in you.
It was just in me,
Yep.
but I didn't see myself doing it as a career. I was having fun.
Yep.
Being creative, of course, is an outlet. So I was just having fun, and it came natural.
Oh wow, yeah. So tell me a little bit about friendships. What was that like growing up?
Yeah. So had a lot of friends. Actually, my best friend, we are still, it's a group of us that we're still together.
Love it.
Been
Do y'all have like a group name?
We didn't give us,
Okay.
we didn't do
right.
a name.
All right.
But since the 5th grade,
Okay.
one of the friends, we became friends in the 5th grade, and then the other ones, 9th grade, middle school. And so we're still together now.
That's
we probably
awesome.
get together. We try to get together probably once a quarter.
Okay.
And
so growing up, what were the things that you guys were doing? Like probably going to school, after hours. I mean, where were you guys at? Where were the places?
Yeah, so we were in the band.
Okay.
The band took up a lot of time.
What? Okay.
Yes.
What'd you do in the band?
So marching band, I was color guard.
Nice.
And concert band, I was clarinet and bass clarinet.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we had a grand time in the band. During that time, we actually got to travel to Hawaii.
Look at that.
I know. And we traveled to San Diego for our all-state band. So all of us kind of made it to all-state, and we
Look at that.
traveled.
Look at that. Any funny stories from that time period with the band? And did somebody forget their flute and you're just like, we're in Hawaii, what do we do now?
No,
nothing like that.
Nobody forgot anything, but we did we did go to Disney. And so we we always talk about how we brought in the new year on the monorail, counting down a new year with the Asian culture, and we didn't know what they were saying.
Yep.
We figured they were counting down, so we just kind of counted down with them. But that's how we brought in the new year, just on the monorail, going back and forth.
I love it. I love it. I love it. No, that's good. All right. So tell me a little bit about what were some things that you were listening to? Music. What books were you reading? Kind of growing up. We're kind of getting into outside of middle school, high school. Tell me what you were interested in at that period.
I was still creative. Music wise, R&B. I'm straight R&B.
Okay. So who was your favorite at the time?
At that time,
Pulling it back.
Go back. Who was TLC?
Okay.
Was TLC out there? TLC. Aaliyah, but I think Aaliyah came more. She might have been in high school. Yeah, Aaliyah.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
so
that's great.
straight R&B.
Love it. Love it.
Monica, Brandy, all them. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Okay. So you're in high school, playing in the band, creative. What were some obstacles, whether it was in high school, maybe even a little bit earlier, that you really just had to overcome? Mm-hmm. Whether that was a family thing, dynamic, or maybe a loss, or was there anything just normal everyday stuff that you just had to deal with?
Well, being a kid anyway, it can be hard. Of course, it's fun, but it can be hard. Just trying to fit in. Even though, of course, kids today have it way harder than we did. But I'm just trying to fit in. But it was normal. Nothing too crazy, nothing too stressful at all.
Just more like the war within, because you were probably on the outside really active, and then you go home and you're like, what did I just say? What did I do? Those types of things.
Yeah, and just trying to learn yourself, figure yourself out, where you belong, what you want to do, how you want to fit in, or
what are you willing to do? What are you not willing to do to fit in?
I was just about to say that. Yeah. Or what are you going to lead in?
Ooh, that's a good way. Come on. What are you going to lead in? How about that? I like it. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. So so you're going through high school. When did you know you wanted to be a nurse?
High school. No, younger than that. So my godmother, she, of course, I spent a lot of time with her. So when she was in college, right?
Okay.
Spent a lot of time at the college with her. And her roommate and best friend, who has passed on now, she was a nurse. And she was kind of influential of me wanting to be a nurse. But her, and also I talked about the village earlier, but my village consisted of a lot of healthcare people. So I have an uncle that's a nurse. The previous nurse county manager, she was in my life as a young age. So I was kind of surrounded by healthcare. So I knew that I wanted to do something to help people.
Yeah.
I'm a nurturer. I love helping people. Even when I was growing up, I would find myself kind of intrigued or going to, I guess, the older population.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to, have conversations with them. I would just sit with them. My neighbors, they were older, and I would just go over there and just sit and be company with them. Because they don't get a lot of visitors and all that. And so I found myself at a young age always nurturing, want to be there, wanting to help, want to listen. Yeah. So went to Georgia Southwestern. Okay. And that is where I started my nursing journey. Okay.
So at this point, you've gone a couple trips, but you're not living outside of Americus. You're just growing up. You're in Americus, still there, going to GSW. What was it like? Or you talked a little bit about that seems like it's a personality thing, right? So you have people that you're recognizing or caring for people, and you're like, I see that in me. I love that about them, and that's something that I want to pursue as well. What are some values that you feel like you can attach to for some of that? I mean, if it's sacrifice, if it's compassion, if it's mercy, what are some things that come to your mind when you think about the way that God made you, and and all those types of things, like when it comes to values? What are some values that you love to acknowledge and to pursue?
So I know He created me to serve. So I'm a servant first. I am and I just love to help people. And whether that's helping through me just listening to what you have going on or your issues or problems, because some people just want a listening ear.
Right, yeah.
And I do that all day at work. But
that's right. That's right.
But
you gotta save some for the home, right? You're like, no, I've been doing it all day.
Yeah. But I am here to serve people and to help people. I've always been in the community as a little girl. Like I said, my godmother, member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Okay. So that's what, the sorority does. I'm also a member too, but that's what the sorority does, is serve. Okay. So I've been serving people since I was a little girl. Wow. And that's all I know. And, the funny part, we'll probably talk about the husband thing later, but the funny part is when I asked God about my husband, I kind of wrote my list. I needed my husband to be able to understand my passion for serving. Yeah. Because that takes time away from home. Yep. But I need you to understand that. Yes. So that's service.
Oh, wow. I love that. I love that. That's so encouraging. It really is. And I could tell, I mean, you're talking about it and your face is lighting up, right? And so it's real. And I'm so thankful that you do that. I know that those you serve are very thankful. The city is very thankful for that. So I love that it's just natural to you, which is an amazing thing. All right, so now you're going to GSW. You graduate. Did you have any obstacles in just those years? Tell me a little bit about college and then coming on to the nursing.
Yes. So obstacles. This is when the obstacles started.
Okay.
So went to Georgia Southwestern. So still didn't leave America, still in Americus. Georgia Southwestern, majored in nursing. But unfortunately, it didn't go too well the first go round.
Okay.
So, failed a couple of classes. So I literally had to change my major.
Okay.
So I changed my major to exercise science.
Okay.
Still health. And with that, my plan was to be an athletic trainer because I love sports.
Yeah.
I still love sports.
Yeah, okay.
And I always told myself that I was going to be the first female NFL coach, but that didn't quite work out.
Okay.
So, again, changed my major to exercise science, and I did graduate with that degree. And after graduation, I had a decision to make, and it was to go to pursue athletic trainer or physical therapy, one or the other.
Okay.
Or at that time, Georgia Southwestern was starting their new accelerated nursing program. So had to make a decision. My passion was still with nursing. So I went that route and became the first class for the accelerated nursing program.
Okay.
So graduated with the first degree in 2005 and then graduated with the RN in 2007.
That's awesome.
So a lot of people don't know that I kind of went through that. And I always tell people, that's going through nursing school, it's hard. Yes, it's hard. It's a sacrifice. Not going to tell you it's easy at all because it's not at all. But you can do it. I don't know if I just kind of had to mature a little bit to kind of buckle down and study, because in the past I never really had to study. Things just kind of came natural to me.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what happened. But I made it.
Yeah, you're here. You're here, right?
I made it,
so let me ask you this: what anything that you would give someone that wants to go into nursing? What would your advice be?
So my advice would be know what you want to do, because there are so many tracks to nursing. Okay. Like you can be an LPN, you can be an RN with an associate's degree, you can be an RN with a bachelor's degree. Of course, you can go into master's and all. So the end product, like, what do you want to do? Okay. And I say that because some people will start out as an LPN, then they'll go back to school for associates, then they'll go back for their RN. And that's fine depending on what's going on in your life. Because some people, start out as an LPN because they want to go ahead and start working and making money. I get it. I understand. Yeah. But if that's not an obstacle for you, if your goal is to be a registered nurse, or if your goal is to be a nurse practitioner, I just highly recommend that you bite the bullet and just go on to RN school to get your bachelor's degree. Yeah. Because what we see is if you start out in LPN school, then you may take a break, and then you'll go back, and then you'll take a break, and just go ahead and try to knock it on out in those 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what to do. What should they not do?
What should they not do? They should not have any friends. Okay.
That's right.
Maybe one to keep you motivated, but it's very time consuming. Nursing with the studying, the clinicals. I mean, you're going hard. Yeah. Like you have, and I tell people that. I have some of my nurses now going back to school, and I say, you will not have a life. But it's okay. Let's make that sacrifice. Yeah, that's because in the end, it is so worth it. Yeah. But you won't have a life, though.
Yeah, wow. Yep, that's right. So you get to start a whole new. Well, what's great is that you have this group of friends, right? That they weathered the storm. That's some good friends for you that you're still hanging out with. So, all right. So you're in Americus. You're a registered nurse. When did you meet your husband?
So I met Eric Bryant. We met actually when I used to work for the Board of Education. I was the receptionist for the Board of Education, and he was the transportation director. So that's how I knew there was a Eric Bryant, Okay. But as far as meeting to get to know each other, 2000, when was it?
It's in the 2000s? It's in the early 2000s.
Right. So we met at a MLK program.
Okay.
I was an usher, again, serving. I was an usher, and my birthday is in the month of January, so I'm so excited about my birthday. Yeah. I just walk around and say, hey, you have 10 more days to my birthday. Just walk up to random people. Hey, you have 10 more days to my birthday.
Yeah.
So walked past him and said that, and he was like, okay. And then on my birthday, he actually got my number from one of my sorority sisters, and he called, and he was just like, hey, I'm going to take you out for your birthday. All right, bye. And hung up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wasn't that romantic?
Yeah. Very direct. I like it.
Yeah. So that basically that was it.
That was it. And then it started the journey.
Romantic for me.
That's right. So in your mind, were you like, wow, okay, that just happened. And you're like, I'm going to do this. You're like, I'm going to get a free dinner out of this. Absolutely. 100%.
That's it. The first date was supposed to be the night the tornado hit in Americus.
No.
So we didn't make that first date. We had to kind of, but yeah, that's how we met.
Wow. Okay. So, all right. So you guys are married now. You have 2 children, right? And 4 children total, but 2 together. And you are still a registered nurse. Tell me a little bit about Americus. I'm coming in. I'm new here. We moved in April. How do you describe Americus to people? When someone says, where are you from? I'm from Americus. Mm-hmm. Did you say America? No, I said Americus. Mm-hmm. And then you were to say, this is what Americus is about.
This is what America's about. So we are a small town. Mm-hmm. I like to say we're a small, cozy, cute town.
All right.
Right? Because if you walk down through the downtown area, it's really nice. Mm-hmm. So we're cozy. And we're just kind of happy people. We love on each other. Of course, I can't say 100% of the citizens do that, but as a whole, when you're looking at Americas as a whole, we love on each other. We help each other. We're growing. We're growing in industry and all that, and hopefully we can continue to grow. Yeah. I just call us a cozy, cute town. With a lot of opportunities, because although we're small, I mean, we have a university here, we have the technical college. Yeah. So we're small, but there are a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. That's great. So as far as, what continues to inspire you or just call you to continue to stay and invest in Americus?
Well, I'm a small town girl. I like the small town. I like to visit big cities, but I like the small town. And everybody kind of knows everybody here. Like, if you call a name, that's so-and-so, mama, da-da-da-da. So everybody kind of knows or can relate to that person by way of their family members. So I like that. I like that, there are a lot of times and events where the community really comes together and get involved with different things. Whether it's the hospital doing the breast cancer awareness walk or whatever, but we like to get together and have fun. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
That's great. Mm-hmm. All right, so let me ask you this then: what's your favorite story to share about Americus? Like if you've got something, whether it was a championship win or something like that for the school or something, or is there just something you're just like, when I talk about Americus, I always tell people this story?
When I talk about Americus, I always tell people that Americus High had the best football team. Yeah. And that was in my era, I guess, because I think we had great basketball too. But in my era, our football team, I mean, we had back-to-back championships. Wow. And it was a lot of fun going to the Dome, seeing the city come out to cheer the team on. Even when, the team traveled to the Dome, how the city and the businesses came out to, wave the team by on the bus and all. It was just beautiful. Yeah. And we would, you could tell the city was very close. It's like the football team really brought the city closer together too.
Yeah. What were those years? Do you remember?
So I am class of 2000. So the 96, 97, 98, 99 era.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then something happened, right, to Americus High.
Yeah.
You were telling me.
Yeah. So the city wanted to, I don't know. We merged.
You're like, I'm just going to say it.
I was going to try to be, cute about it, but that was a merger. And so, before we had Americus High School and you had Sumter County High School.
Yep.
So I think it was 2010 that the merger happened.
Okay. But you were OG. You were already
I'm
gone.
OG. I'm full blood Panther. Yeah.
Okay, that happened, but I didn't have to deal with that.
Yeah. So I tell people you don't even know what it's like to have the dynamic football team that we had. Great. Yeah. So
that's great. I love that. So I have a new question that I've started asking people because I just really get interested in maybe certain hobbies or certain things that people just really love. Like it just gets them excited when they get to talk about something that they just love doing or love talking about. So is there anything that you just love talking about? Like if you get a chance to talk about a subject, I want to talk about this. What would that be?
Strange, but balloons.
Okay. All right. Balloons. See,
balloons.
See, this is interesting. All right. So let's step into that. So not only are you a registered nurse, but you also own your own business. So tell me a little bit about the history. And then and then we'll step into the all the intricacies because now I'm going to start to learn. So go ahead.
So my business name is Only Imagine.
Okay.
Where your wish is my design. So it started 2000. Again, I've always been creative. So prior to starting the business, I would make baskets and I had a Cricut, just make shirts and all this kind of stuff. And I did a baby shower for one of my friends. And during the baby shower, I went to get the balloons for the shower. Okay. And went to a local party store and watched them blow up the balloons. And so when I paid what I paid for the balloons, I was like, wow. I think I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah, right. Come on. Yeah.
So I'm in the wrong business. So after that, after the shower, I went home, just kind of Googled balloon decor. And it was just so much out there, or YouTube, and it was just so much out there. And all the stuff was beautiful to me. And I kind of self-taught. So in 2013, basically, I did my first party. Okay. I did it for one of my nurses, her twins. I was turning 1. So I said, well, let me decorate your party,
Yeah.
So at that time I was doing full decor, meaning like your chair covers, your tablecloths. I was doing it all. Yeah. Not necessarily doing the treats, but I would recommend who could do the treats, who would recommend do the food. So I was doing the full thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So then maybe 3-4 years ago? No, when the little ones came.
Okay.
When the little ones came,
that's right.
I scaled back to only do balloon decor.
Okay.
So right now I'm balloons only and loving it. And I provide I bring the fun to the party. You know, our thing is the party doesn't start till the balloons arrive, Love it. So I'm having fun doing that, having fun with balloons. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, all right, first and foremost, I have this image of like 14 helium tanks like in your house, and Eric's like, why are these tanks everywhere? But do you have like an office, or are you doing it right there in your home? What's that like?
Yes, so I am home based. Okay. I do have one helium tank. Okay. So let me tell you about the helium. So helium is extremely expensive.
Yeah,
right now. On my end,
in particular, is there any reason why it's more now, or is it just
it's a shortage? They say it's a shortage.
Yeah,
they say it's a shortage.
they say who they?
I don't know. That's what they say. So they jack up the price. Right. So what in the balloon world, what we try to do is create decor that is more air filled instead of helium filled.
Oh,
so when you look at your columns and your arches, they're filled with air. And air lasts way longer than helium. Okay. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah. But is there still a tank system, or as far as with just the regular air?
So we have inflators that inflate the balloon with air.
Okay.
So we don't blow them up with our mouth.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that.
Yeah, that's right. Well, if it starts costing a little bit more on the regular air, we might have to take that back too. Yeah. All right. So what is what is a typical way that people can get in contact with you? You know, I really love that idea. How do they find you? What is that like?
So we do have a website. That's www.onlyimagine.org.
Okay.
And then you can follow me on Facebook at Only Imagine Balloons. Same on Instagram, Only Imagine Balloons.
Okay. I love it. I love it. So is there anything that someone has asked you to do that you're just like, I got no idea. What has been the most exciting project that you were able to do?
I was thinking about this project earlier today. I don't know why, but I was. So Americus made it into a competition of being like the best small town in America. And so the judges were coming in to, do a tour of Americus. And I can't remember how long ago this was. And so they reached out to me to do balloons across the Windsor that says #My Americus.
Okay.
And I was just getting started with balloons.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So, I was anxiety and trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this because it's outside. So outside decor is always a thing with outside decor because of the environment. So just getting started. And what I did was the letters, the big 40-inch foil letters that you see.
Yep.
I filled them with helium to hang across the banister at the Windsor.
Okay.
Now, in my present day, I would know, Suleania, you should not have filled those with helium because they're going to go up.
Yes.
So now I'm trying to figure out how to keep them down.
Oh my
and
goodness.
so they should have been filled with air, right? So that's something that I don't know why that still sits with me. And I guess because it's a learning experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was thinking, why did I put helium in those balloons? But nobody would know that it was an issue but me. But that was it was a very simple event, but that was my favorite event, I guess. Just being a part of the #My Americas, that whole thing, and my balloons being across the Windsor. But it's how I did it that's kind of like, okay, Suleania, you've grown.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, so other than not always using helium, what are some other things that typically people don't know about balloons or even balloon decor that is just really interesting, or something you want to kind of even avoid? Like, hey, if you're doing this, be mindful of that.
Right. So what we want to do is try to encourage people, because when you think about balloons, you always think about kids and kind of fun kids thing. But balloons are very elegant also. So you want to try to start thinking about balloons being in your weddings and, more of your elegant events. And Only Imagine can do that for you.
Nice.
Also, people are shocked at how long balloons last. Like if you get good quality balloons, of course. So like your latex balloons, I've put some stuff up that's lasted over a month.
Wow.
Some decor up that's lasted over a month. So balloons can last if we get good quality balloons. But a lot of people are shocked by that because they think that all balloons are filled with helium, and they're not. And it's the air. Those are the balloons that last the longest.
Okay. All right.
And what a lot of people don't know is, because I tell people all the time, I went to Balloon-iversity. So yeah, there's a Balloon-iversity out there.
That's legit.
Yeah, it's a Balloon-iversity out there.
Not as hard as nursing school, I'm sure of it.
No.
Right.
I enjoyed Balloon-iversity.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I also noticed that there are times where certain colors represent things. Like I'll see a color of balloons for maybe a death in the family. Maybe they'll put it out in their mailbox, or maybe a birth. Is that something that, balloons can be used for that too? Like that purpose, like they signify certain things, or is that just people, using balloons and then using a particular, like for breast cancer, pink, those types of things? Is that something that, when you think about balloons, that you need to be thinking about, like, they're also used in that way, or
so of course
I give away from that now.
Well, of course I give the clients freedom to choose, pick, or whatever, and I can guide them, especially when you're thinking about balloons and outside. I like to try to guide them on that because they like a lot of festive stuff outside and helium balloons outside. But you have to think about the environment when you're outside and how sun can, pop and how rain can affect balloons. So I like to try to guide. But as far as colors, we are here to provide whatever colors you want and how you want it.
Yeah. And I think about that now. Like I don't think much about balloons that don't have helium. Like I'm thinking about it right now. I'm like, normally we get the balloons, they back of the chair, they stick
one
up.
String.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I've seen like some of your pictures on your website. That's on Facebook. I mean, they look great.
Thank you.
And so, yeah, if you're looking for having a better time than what you have, let's just say you have a really excellent time at your parties, you're still missing out if there's not balloons there.
Right. You are.
I mean,
you are.
All right, so go check that out. All right. So let's talk a little bit about kind of the future of Americus too. So we kind of talked a little bit about who you are, what you do. Another good question is where. And so where do you see Americus going? What are you excited about? Maybe some certain obstacles that you're hoping that the city will kind of process together as a community. What are your thoughts on the next 10 years? Where do you see Americus?
So I do see us growing industry-wise. I love how Americus really takes in and loves on small businesses.
Yeah.
So we're growing on the small business side, but as you can see, we're growing industry-wise too. We just brought in a new Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, and we have the new company out there on Southern Field. So we're growing industry-wise and we're growing small business-wise. And I just like, because in a lot of cities, it's either one or the other. Either we're going to be a big city, we're going to have industry, or we're just going to, we just want to be small business and leave the big boys out, basically. So I think we are kind of doing both. And I really like that because everyone has somewhere to go.
That's awesome. And I love, like you said, there's two colleges here. The lights just went up on the Windsor. They're so beautiful. I'm so glad they keep them up. It's so fun. Sorry. I was just like, just one of the perks about being in Americus, those lights. But with the colleges, I mean, there's students that are coming up with degrees that we would love to stay right here and use those degrees for so many things. Just like you said, it just seems like there's so many opportunities here. And though there are obstacles, I'm sure, there's red tape somewhere, or maybe just the market's just really hard to get going. As far as that is concerned, what do you kind of tell some of the people that are, Americus, it's okay. How do you encourage them to continue to, hey, we're here, let's do this thing?
Right. So I think anywhere you go is what you make it. I mean, if you want to teach, you can teach in Americus. If you want to start a business, you can start a business in Americus. If you want to be whatever it is you want to do, you can do it in Americus. You don't have to go to your big cities to do it. If it's not here, hey, start it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are resources out there for you to actually start it. So whatever it is you want to do, you can do it. You have the support here.
Yeah.
I mean, we support, we help. But I know, so you talked about the colleges and the universities, but let me just hit on the high school.
Let's go.
Yeah. Have you had I'm asking you questions.
I know. Let's do it.
Have you had the opportunity to see the high school or the CTAE program?
Okay. Is that the one that's across from the tech school?
Yes.
I've seen it from just driving past. It looks amazing.
You have to go inside.
It looks amazing.
You have to I'm going to get you a tour. You have to, because the education, it starts, young, but it starts at the high school too, because the opportunities there is so amazing. That their nursing or their healthcare area, you're walking into Georgia Southwestern, basically.
Oh, wow.
The child care area they have, nice. The technology, the agriculture area, all of that is nice, and the kids get hands-on experience.
Yeah.
Just good. Like at the tech school or the colleges.
Yeah.
So you have to check it out.
Yes, I love that. I mean, that's even a broader idea of a village, right? People coming in, investing. And so when these students are coming into high school, they're like, wow, this is what life could be like. And I could be a part of this. And and things are great. I mean, things are new and those types of things. So it helps even just in the mental, like keep going, you know? So no, that's great. Yeah. I need to go check it out. I've seen it on the outside. I didn't even know if it was open. It looked so clean and nice. I was like, I don't even know if they've opened it yet. But yeah, it's been open for what, a year or two at least, or a little bit more? Two. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'll need to go check that out. All right, let me do this. We're going to kind of slow it down and we're going to land the plane. We talked about being in planes earlier. We're going to land the plane a little bit. So I want to ask you some like what we call rapid fire questions that just give us a chance to get to know you a little bit more. So let me ask you this. What do you do to relax? What does that look like for you?
Sleep.
Sleep?
I just sleep.
Yes.
Sleep. This weekend, I had nothing to do. That's not normal at all. I had nothing to do.
Wow.
And I did nothing.
And that was great,
That was the best weekend ever.
I love it. I love it. I am trying to learn this new word I heard, and I haven't like fully defined it and things, but this idea of guiltless margin. I love that idea. And I'm like, wow. Because we always feel like we have to be doing something, but like we also need to learn just to relax, get some margin time, because people are going to need us in the future. And if we're going too fast, we might go too fast. Right. So I love that. Right. When I take sometimes a half day off, I'll think about certain things I want to do, but a lot of times I just end up, because I'm so tired, just falling asleep for like 3 hours, and it's great. Yep. So, but the bad thing is if I take a nap during the day, I'm horrible the rest of the day. I don't wake up and I'm like, oh, that was great. I wake up and I'm like, ugh, it's the worst. So my wife knows that. All right. What's your favorite song or music right now? What are you listening to? Where are you at?
You know, I'm not, sad to say, I'm not up on the music. Okay. I am podcasting.
Nice.
And, you know, and a lot of it is dealing with business stuff. So I'm trying to grow business-wise and just soak in all that knowledge. So other than the
Americus podcast, which is your favorite?
Other than... so of course I listen to Balloon podcast.
Yeah, that's great.
That and just business podcasts, different businesses. Yeah.
That's awesome. There's some really good stuff out there. There's content. If you want to do anything, like you said, you've got great people in Americus, and then you have YouTube University or podcasters who will readily just give you the information that you need. All right, let me ask you this. Favorite restaurant that you like going to?
Carrabba's. I'm Italian. I like Italian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Is there any good Italian places as far as Americus? I don't think about Italian as much here. I don't know if there is a place. No. If there is, comment. Let us know. And Ruby Tuesday. Okay.
They have pasta. Okay.
Got some pasta there. All right. Favorite sport? Are you football?
You know, I'm supposed to be the first
college
female
football?
NFL coach. I like them both.
Okay.
Did
you hear about a game yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you hear
I guess it was a game. Was it a game?
Oh, it was. Someone probably should go to jail. It was bad. It was beat down. It was criminal what happened. Yeah. So it was a good game. I mean, if you like one-sided games, it was great.
Roman oven.
Oh yeah, Roman oven.
Yeah, Roman
yeah,
oven.
they got some good stuff. Absolutely. I love that. What about a favorite dessert?
Key lime pie. I couldn't think of it. I don't know why I couldn't think of it.
Nice. Key lime pie. All right. Favorite family or friend activity? What do you like to do?
Play games. So we do board games.
Nice.
Yeah.
Favorite board game right now?
Monopoly. All versions.
Okay.
I love several versions out there.
I love it. Now that's a committed game though.
It is.
It could take a little bit. Unless, you start I'm going to have to speed this thing up, and I'm going to have to start selling some things. 'Cause I got to leave. So we play a lot of board games too, and we found some of these new ones. Like there's one called Ticket to Ride, and it's about trains. It's really, really good. There's another board game that we play called. It's actually a card game called Exploding Kittens. It's really fast. It's a card game though. And it's like, the great thing is like, it takes like 2 minutes and everybody's done. And it's just like, all right, we can play a new game or not. So that's always fun, especially with the kids, because they either get too excited or they can't prolong it. So good stuff. All right. Let me ask you this. Where is community found in Americus? Just give me some, when you think about community, think about getting into Americus. I'm new, thinking like, where are some places where good community is?
So, of course, you want to start with your churches. We have some amazing churches around here. So you want to start there and, of course, find one that fits you, We have some that are very heavy in ministries, like it's a ministry for everything.
Yeah.
So if that's, kind of what you need, of course, if you have kids, you want to ensure that they have a good youth ministry.
Okay.
So you want to start with your churches, any organizations. Like I said, I'm part of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. So, any type of organizations like that, any foundation boards you want to sit on, just to get to know people, to see what Americus is about. Start there.
Love it. Love it. All right. Last one. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? And give us a little bit of the why.
Well, I keep saying I want to go to Dubai.
Okay.
But I can't tell you why, except for I've seen the pictures and it's very pretty.
Yes.
That's all. I haven't done any research at all, but that's what I keep telling myself. I want to go to Dubai.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
I've heard that it is very beautiful, very clean, one of the wealthiest places. I mean, there's just so much there. And like you said, for a creative person, all the buildings and the structures, I mean, and what they do, they just think it and then they build it. It's really, really cool there from what I understand. So that's a really great place. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, for sharing a little bit of your story with a new neighbor, a new friend, for sharing a little bit about your business and what's going on and how people can connect with you on that. So we wish you the best for that.
Thank you.
And I, too, like a new neighbor in Americus, I look forward to it thriving. I look forward to it, people seeing the value of it and just continuing to invest, whether that's time, energy, money, to see this thing continue to be a light in this area. And so hopefully people won't go around 85 and 75, but come down right 19, come and hang out with us and spend some time with us in America. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.